Good morning. Welcome back to tipsmatter.com, sponsored by Opa Greek Seasoning. Beautiful morning here in Florida, sitting out on Lanai. You might hear the dogs bark because there's birds flying by, and my lab loves to bark at the birds. So if that happens, sorry. So, all right, let's get to it. Let's not waste any more time. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram and X, you can. Just Tips Matter. Amazing name for our handles. All right. Look, Circa Survivor. We are still alive. And the we is myself and Giorgio. You can follow Giorgio on X at Giorgio Moondog. Look, Circa Survivor is down to 4,418 remaining. After last night's upsets, you had 9 on Buffalo. You had 70 on the Washington Commanders. So 79 more were eliminated. 4,418. Really, the only big upset of the week was Washington. I think they were the 8th most picked, if I'm not mistaken. So huge loss for those guys. They finally get revenge on the Bears because really Washington in the Bears season last year with the Hail Mary. The Bears would have went to 5-2 if they won that game. They end up dropping to 4-3 and lose 10 in a row, basically to finish the season. So Washington ends up just crushing the Bears last year. So let's get to it. Our early thoughts, my early thoughts probably more than anything. Georgia and I have not talked too much at all. We do work together today, so that'll be the talk. For sure with Circa Millions and Survivor. But just a quick refresher, we really have not used anybody of substance at this point. The only one you probably could say we used was the Broncos. We used them in week 1 against Tennessee. Then we used Arizona, and I'm trying to remember. I think we went Seattle in week 3, the Vikings in week 4, the Patriots in week 5, and then we went with the Steelers this week. So we end up getting by. Look, over 50% of the remaining entries, over 2,500 entries were on the Packers. We were hoping for a Bengal upset, and Flacco could have done it twice this year. He just couldn't pull it off, but there was a chance. Look, Bengals were in it late. In fact, had the ball going down had a chance to tie the game. But never really made a threat on that. But hey, they were in it, and there's a little bit of sweat for those people on the Packers. We are very happy we didn't use them in week 6, but this might be a week we use them, but we also might go a different way. So without any further ado, I'm going to talk about both Millions and Survivor as we go along. I have not looked at the spread yet, so you're getting my early thoughts and first thoughts on the spread. So Steelers at Bengals on Thursday night. Steelers favored by 5.5. The pickup for Flacco looks like it means something to Cincy, as bad as Browning did look. Really, the Bengals are out of it at this point. Steelers are fighting for the division, 5.5 on the road. Excuse me, in a divisional matchup. You're giving me more than a field goal right now. I'm thinking I'm on Cincinnati plus 5.5. Sunday. In England, I'm not sure where, but maybe it's Germany, who knows. But Rams at Jags, I just know it's not on this continent, which is embarrassing by the NFL. Rams at Jags, Rams favored by 2.5. Really going to find out about the Jags once again. They are comfortable going over to Europe to play. They do it every year. Rams minus 2.5 on a normal field. You'd think you'd take the Rams even if it was in Jacksonville. The Rams tend to play down to their competition, so I expect it to be a good ball game. If the spread would get to 3, I would consider the Jags. If it's plus 3, if it's not, it's a stay away spot for me. All right, let's get to the 1 p.m. Sunday games. Dolphins at Browns. Dolphins plus 2.5 at Cleveland. Right off the bat, I'm thinking Cleveland. That defense is going to eat. Tua threw basically 5 to 6 players under the bus, as well as his head coach in the press conference on Sunday afternoon after the loss to the Chargers. what can you say? You knew that guy was not the right fit in Miami. We all knew it when he was drafted above Herbert. And can you imagine that Miami team with Justin Herbert right now? They would be a big-time NFL franchise, and now they're a low-life Pop Warner football team. They are embarrassing down there, and it's not just McDaniel. It's Tua. You need to have a leader there that if he's breathed on, he doesn't get a concussion and, I might have to retire kind of thing. So Browns minus 2.5. To be honest, it's a play for me. And secondly, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I would consider them in Survivor. It would be a risk, a big time risk, but you have to take risks in this. We're getting into week 7. They're down to 4,400. I would consider the Browns here in Survivor for sure. Patriots at Titans. Patriots minus 7. We already used Patriots in Survivor. They're at Tennessee, who has fired Callahan. You have to think that can only do good. You could have Fred Flintstone be a better head coach than Callahan, and I don't even know who it is. There's usually a little bounce back from teams that fire their head coach. So, man, Drake May looks good. He's the third or fourth, he's third or fourth in the MVP at this point in Vegas. I have him at 75-1. I love that number, to say the least. So I'd probably take Tennessee plus 7, but it does scare me, to say the least. Saints going to Chicago. Chicago minus 5 at home. I would consider it a Survivor play. I do not like that it's a short week, but all you need to do is win, and you get Rattler on the road. But the Saints have not played as bad as we thought they would. I'm telling you right now, Kellen Moore's he's a good coach. We all thought the Saints, if they were lucky, they'd win 2 to 3 games. Even if that's the case, at least that team's playing hard for them. I would consider Bears in Survivor for sure. It is a holiday team, but would we really use them? I think they're on the road at Philly. No way in heck we're using them there. So there's a chance we use the Bears in Survivor. Panthers minus 2 at the Jets. Oh my gosh. The Jets. Jet gonna jet. Justin Fields starts in the NFL. Are you freaking kidding me? He's so bad. Minus 11 passing yards in England. They only lose by 2 to Denver. How does that happen? Absolutely. He's an embarrassment. How do you have a quarterback? I'm sitting on my lanai. I'm 5 feet from the pool. He couldn't throw a ball into it. He'd miss. He could probably run into it, I would think, before he'd fall down. This is why NFL franchises stay bad. I put an Instagram post out yesterday about this. I think you should go look at it. And it involves us guys being a 2 or 3 at the bar. It also involves a 9.9 bombshell at the end of the bar. So I think you should go out. It involves the supermodel at the end of the bar along with Justin Fields in the NFL. So on Instagram, Just Tips Matter. Panthers are definitely a play for Survivor here if you want. I know it's on the road, and I know Bryce has only won 1 road game in his career, but you get the Jets coming back from England off of that performance. I'll tell you what, Fields doesn't get it going in the first quarter. The Boo Birds are going to be out in New York, and I'm not joking. They are going to be cheering on the Panthers in New York. That's how bad it is for that Jets franchise. Eagles minus 2 at Vikings. There is no way in hell I would use either of these 2 teams in Survivor. To be honest, I would probably be on the Vikings at home plus 2. They're coming off a bye. Hurts looks just damn close as bad as Fields does throwing the ball. So, there's a lot of drama going on in Philly. Give me the Vikings at home plus the points. Raiders, still a 1:00 game. Raiders plus 12 at Kansas City. Hard. You know what? Raiders always play KC tough. But this Kansas City team, it's pretty crazy after 6 weeks. They look like they may be back, and I mean back from a few years ago. It's Patty Mahomes looking unbelievable. Minus 12 is a lot of points. I'd have to take the Raiders plus 12. To be honest, if it stays in double figures, I think that'll probably be a play for Georgia and I. And Kansas City, will they be a popular pick in Survivor? Maybe. But don't forget, you got to have a holiday pick. And they play both on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, yeah, I like the Chiefs in Survivor. We will not use them. We will be saving them for the holidays, but we will probably play the Raiders plus 12 here. We'll hope it gets up to 13. Colts plus 1.5 at the Chargers. Chargers a long way from LA to Miami, back to LA, playing a Colts team that's hot. Right now, you're giving me Colts and points against just about anybody. I got to take the points. Plus 1.5. Daniel Jones looks that good. I still don't think the Chargers are running on all cylinders, even though they're the leaders in the clubhouse in the AFC West. I would take the Colts here as good as Daniel Jones looked. I've got him at 50-1 to win the MVP. And if he's on the best team in the league, usually the quarterback wins that award at that point. Giants plus 7 at Denver. Oh, by the way, Colts Chargers. Nope. I'm not that stupid for Survivor. Giants and Broncos. Giants plus 7 on the road at Denver. Give me all of the Giants here. You're giving me more than a touchdown. A touchdown or more, I'm taking the G-men. Broncos coming back from Tottenham Stadium in London. Long travel. I'll take the Giants plus the 7 plus the points with Dart and Scatterbo. It's going to be tough for them to run the ball, and it's going to be tough for Dart. The Broncos, I think, are the best in the league at running quarterbacks to rushing yards. So I'm still on the Giants, but Dart's going to have to beat him with his arm. That's a great way for the 4 o'clock games to kick off. That one's at 4:05 along with the Colts Chargers. 4:25 kickoffs. There's 2 of them. Commanders and Cowboys. Commanders minus 2. Going to Dallas off of a loss here against Chicago on Monday Night Football. And I take that back. It was in Washington. Holy crap. I just thought of that too. Commanders minus 2 at Dallas. Look, I'll take Washington. You have to prove to me, Dallas has to continue to prove to me. Look, that over-under is 54. That's a crazy over-under. Still probably not enough points. I think we're looking at about a 34-30 game with these two teams, and I'm not joking there. I think it could be 10 points too low. I'll take Washington minus 2, but neither of these teams are a Survivor play for us. Packers at Cardinals. Here we go, folks. This could be the spot that we could use Green Bay. They are a holiday team, though, but we did get through without using them last week. We're not going to be the number 1 pick team. You wouldn't think here. Packers minus 6.5 on the road. I would still have to go the Pack. I would assume Kyler Murray's going to play here, but it seems it's just the Cardinals. It's a very poorly run franchise. My dad had season tickets to them since they were the St. Louis Cardinals. The only decent years they really have had in, 50 years for the most part were the couple of years they had Kurt Warner. They did go to the Super Bowl. But other than that, they're an absolute train wreck. Packers, less than a touchdown, minus 6.5. Obviously, with the extra point, I'm not that stupid. I would probably still play the Packers on the road. It is a Survivor play, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Packers have not been as dominant this year as we thought they were going to be. Everybody was riding high with the Pack after that Detroit win in week 1. Everybody thought they were the old cup of tea for the NFL, and, good luck with that. I was not on board with that yet. They're not completely healthy either. Jaden Reed's out. You got some banged up players. But I still think the Pack should take care of business in Arizona. Falcons plus 3 at the 49ers. Short week for Atlanta, traveling to the West Coast. But the Falcons looked good last night. Beat the Bills. You got to wonder if there's a little bit of letdown here. San Francisco struggling with injuries, went all the way to Tampa. They don't cover on the teaser portion of it. That was a killer for me. That was a lost teaser. Niners minus 3. I can't play it. Right now, I would probably say the Niners just because I feel like it's a sucker bet getting Atlanta off the win with a field goal. But that's a no play for me. I don't know what to think of these two teams. They're so Jekyll and Hyde. It's so hard. All right, and that's a Sunday night game. All right, let's get to it. Doubleheader once again for Monday Night Football. I think this should be every week. I think they should have doubleheaders every single week. It's amazing. Buccaneers at Lions. What a game this is. Baker Mayfield. I think the Bucs, if I'm not mistaken, Giorgio and I were called by Tampa to come play wide receiver. That's how bad they're struggling with injuries. Bucs plus 4.5 at Detroit. You would think with Mayfield, I think he's probably the second or third favorite for MVP. I think Baker's third and May's fourth in the MVP. Patty Mahomes right now is number one. I'm sure it's Josh Allen number two, or flip-flop those. Oh, how do you go here? How are you getting – if you're getting more than a field goal with Baker Mayfield, I can't stand the guy. We know this. How do you not take Tampa? But Detroit has looked so good. You know Montgomery and Gibbs are going to eat. I hate – if I go against Baker, he's going to cover. Hell, he'll probably win outright. If I don't take Baker, or if I do take Baker, they're going to get throttled like 31-10. So it's probably a stay away spot for me. It's probably me hoping a lot of people are on Survivor in the Lions, and I'll probably be rooting for Baker. All right, Texans and Seahawks. 10 o'clock kickoff on the East Coast for the last game of the week for Week 7. Seahawks minus 3.5. I have been on the Seahawks bandwagon since day one. They have made me look pretty good. I think Giorgio and I have about a $5,000 bet on who would finish higher in the standings in the NFC West between Seattle and Arizona. But he can just pay my entry into Grandissimo next year out at Circa. I'll take the Seahawks minus 3.5. Yeah, I know the Texans got to win this week or whatever. Or they might have been on the bye. But the last time they played, they got the win. I like Seattle here. C.J. Stroud with that crowd, that's going to be tough. I can tell you right now, Giorgio is going to want to play the Texans plus 3.5. And I'm telling you right now, I want the Seahawks. That's going to be a side bet because he thinks Darnold's horrible. I'm on the Darnold train, that's for sure. So that's where we are for our early Week 7 thoughts. Right now for Survivor, where am I at? I kind of like the Browns, especially at home. The Bears, I could get behind maybe. Panthers, kind of like them, even though it's on the road. Because they're on the road, I'd probably prefer the Browns here. And then, do I have anything else? Not really, unless we decide to go the Packers, which I could do. It's a tough week. Week 7 of Survivor. I'm kind of hoping we keep the Packers for Week 9. They get Carolina in Green Bay. That's where I'm at. So what a week of sports it was. Hockey's back. Just for the record, I've been on fire on first touchdowns on prime time. I hit again last night with Caleb Williams. I had hit Tonjes. If I'd go through the list, I think you'd be shocked. Let's see if I can make that happen real quick while we are chatting here. If you haven't followed us or you're a hockey fan, you can get online on Instagram, Just Tips Matter, and I do a power play point parlay every week. I would love to know your thought every week, every day, that there's enough games to do the power play point parlay. Yeah, I love going through it. I'd love to know your thoughts on who you're thinking is going to get a power play point on that day. I'm going to have one out here in a few minutes. I'm going to throw that down. I've got 4 or 5 for tonight with a pretty decent sized card. I do a 2 for the early games, 2 for the late games, and then I got a late night or a long shot one. First touchdowns I've hit lately. Caleb Williams last night at 12-1. That was a decent sized one. And then I hit how about this? You want to talk my bad bait of the week? I had Jared Goff at 100-1 for first touchdown on Sunday Night Football. And I think it took the refs literally 35 to 40 seconds to throw a flag after the touchdown that there was a penalty for motion. So the NFL waited too long to call in that they couldn't have Vegas lose that much money on a first touchdown play to Jared Goff. It was 100-1. I saw somebody had put $5,000 on Jared Goff at first touchdown. At 90-1, that would have paid him $450,000. So you know that guy's way more chapped than I am, but it still cost me $1,000. Jackson Dart I hit on first touchdown in the Eagles at Giants game. I'm just kind of trying to filter through here. First touchdown, I had Laporta 8.5-1. I had Fannin at 16-1. And that Vikings and Browns game, I'm telling you, these standalone games, I've been a little fuego lately. I want to put it out, but then if it doesn't hit, I don't even want to know what you guys say. And it all started with the 49ers at Rams is when I got hot. Jake Tonjes at 17.5-1. That was a big one too. So kind of a little heater with first touchdown. So excited for Thursday to look at what those odds will be on the Steelers-Bengals first touchdown. So that's all we got. Listen, this podcast is for all the employees out there that work hard. Doorman, bellman, server, bartender, chauffeur, all of you out there, I would love to know what you think. Give me a little shout out. Look, we help the entitled a lot of times, right? The people out there that think their presence alone pays our bills is absolutely embarrassing. Look, if you're getting service and you go to a 5-star hotel, you should not be stiffing anyone. And if you are, you should be staying at a Holiday Inn, because that's embarrassing that you're doing it to hardworking employees that you know that's how their bills are paid. So until next time, thanks for listening. Email the show Stelzy, STELZY at tipsmatter.com. And don't forget, thank you doesn't pay the bills. And neither